Dice, no, ¿en serio? Vaya, ¿cómo estamos? ¿Cómo están esos niños? Bueno, ya, está inmenso.
También,
Creciendo,
gracias a Dios.
Qué bueno, qué bueno.
Será eso.
Son las mesas así que no me lo doy.
Es que la de aquí, la de madera, se la llevaron porque tenía que estar unida, pintura.
Muy elegante.
Yeah.
They look good, no?
Does anybody have a watch? I don't know. 8:32. Let's do the roll call.
Bueno, can I just call them out and tell them you're here? Sarah Suarez,
Here.
Omaida,
Here.
that's here.
8:32.
Louis.
Which one?
But Tara's been gone.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
one.
he's been gone. Yeah, he's been gone.
Maria Medeiros,
She's been gone.
Alexandra,
Here.
Xiomara,
Yamada?
No, she's not here.
She's not here.
Me.
Rosario, Jacqueline, Jackie,
Here.
Pedro.
Here.
Aida, she's excused.
Yeah, she was excused.
Lourdes,
She's excused.
myself, you're here.
Good morning.
Here, Suarez. Brenda,
She's not.
here or here. And then Nancy's here. Am I missing anybody? No?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
We have no public comments and no presentations today, I guess. Does anybody have any that? Okay. The treasurer's report.
We have 28,205 actually. Right? Yeah. And the first one.
Okay, comments from the chair. We had some people removed from the committee due to absences. And I'm not sure. I don't know who was removed. But I found out last night, everybody's been put back on. So, anybody here that was removed from the committee?
You don't need?
No. That has nothing to do. This is, Omaida, this is because you were absent.
Is there to do it everywhere, anytime.
On the third.
On the third.
Okay. I
And you do.
was under that.
The one thing that was only.
Excuse me, please. I was under the understanding it was 3 and then you were out, but she's saying that she was told on the third one you're out, so you only have 2 really, because if you're on the third one, that, I think maybe we can discuss that in the next committee next week.
So the current rule is you have, if you're absent 3 times, if you are not here physically 3 times, you're automatically removed. Now, if you have a medical reason why you are not present, then that is an excused absence and does not count towards an absence.
Okay.
Can I just make a comment? For the record, I was on medical leave for 3 months. The time that I was on leave, whoever took the minutes marked me absent, which led for me to be removed from the committee. So whoever takes the minutes,
I take the minutes, but I
Be
wasn't. told that
diligent.
you were on the-
right? Please be diligent with taking the minutes because I was very stressed when I got that email and upset.
Yeah, so I think it's also important that when you are reviewing the minutes, and you're right, you make sure that the minutes are correct. But once you're reviewing the minutes, because I think it happened to Pedro at a Veterans Committee meeting.
Yeah.
We go by the minutes because it's what the committee approves. And Pedro had been marked absent 3 times. But he spoke to Jonathan, the liaison, said, you know what, Jonathan, that's incorrect. I've been here. So luckily we have the recordings, right? And sure enough, when we reviewed the videos, Pedro was in the meeting, right? But it's very important that when you are reviewing your minutes, make sure that if you're marked absent in the minutes and you know for a fact you were here, make an amendment to make that correction. So, because this is the record, right? So I know that you weren't here for the 3 months, but, just keep that in mind. Don't just blindly approve minutes. Make sure that if you've been marked absent, that it is in fact that you were absent, and if it's excused, make a note of that, because this is our record, we go by the minutes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let me, I mean, I understand everything has rules and regulations or whatever. But then maybe the rules should be changed, because if the liaison, or whoever does this is gonna remove a person, shouldn't they?
No, the
go-
liaison doesn't
Whoever
do
does it.
minutes,
Okay, whoever does it,
your secretary.
the secretary, whoever does it, makes a mistake, whatever, before they remove the person, shouldn't they go to the chair and say, hey, by the way, we're gonna remove these people? And she could say, oh, this was a mistake, that was a mistake. Why would you do it? I mean, I don't know how these rules were set and who set them. But before you remove the people, shouldn't they go to the chair of the committee and say, hey, I'm gonna remove these 3 people? And then you would say, oh, wait, here's a mistake. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't understand how you would just automatically, not that, I'm sorry, I don't see such a big deal. If they remove me, well, they remove me, they put me back on, this is free, I do this for free, so it's not that I'm gonna, go crazy over this. But I just don't see how you would automatically remove a person without going to the chair.
I agree.
Yeah.
That doesn't make,
I understand. However, there may be a time when the chair doesn't remember, or is no longer the chair, or has resigned. I know, but maybe that chair doesn't have historical knowledge of whether you were here or not. And that's why we have minutes. And this is
No, I
an
understand.
official
both the
document.
minutes, But after you went through the minutes, and you say, oh, I'm gonna remove Rosario Navarro. Say, hold on, Daddy, I'm gonna remove Rosario Navarro, Fulana de Tal, Pedro. And Daddy would say, oh, wait a minute, because then it's 2 people before you remove that person. I think that.
Yeah, no, that's a
rule-
great point. That's a
That
great
rule
point.
should be changed, no? I mean, I think.
And according to the rules that were approved as
Whenever,
recently as last year, the secretary is the one that maintains the roster, that maintains the excused absences, the non-excused absences.
But
the
I'm
vote.
not, if I may,
Mhm.
I'm not told, I don't get the notification that, hey, so-and-so is on medical leave.
that's what I'm saying, they should go
So-
back to the chair and say.
I got one email yesterday, and I think, I don't even know how long that McCarthy was gonna be absent, but I don't know.
Right, and,
Maybe we
and
can change the point of contact.
That's what I'm
because-
saying.
And Clarissa, the one thing too is with me not being notified it was being done. Everybody was calling me. One said, why don't you like
It
me?
wasn't
And I'm
that
saying,
they didn't know.
it said, I said, what are you talking about? I've been removed from the committee and I didn't even know it. So that upset me because, and then I got 3 calls. And I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't even know about this. We need to tune up our procedure on how this
Yes,
is done.
how can you?
Because it's really, it's not fair to me, it's not fair to them.
yeah, absolutely.
So that may be something.
And if I can just make this final statement, and then, you are free to discuss. If you're going to be absent, make sure that you notify your secretary so that she can make a note that this is an excused absence. Make sure to notify the chair, make sure you notify the liaison, so that everybody's aware. Don't just call Dottie. Make sure that you cover the chair, the secretary, and the liaison. That way we're all on the same page.
We need to change the protocol of who.
I think.
Just notify everybody.
It doesn't say that in the
Well,
rules and
I don't know.
regulations.
It says that you
only
must
says-
notify the
It
secretary.
says liaison.
No.
I read it.
What
It says the liaison.
But even if you notify them, what I'm saying is that how can you take people off the committee without calling the chair? Because she knew because the people called her. So, yeah, okay, whatever, but whatever, you were gonna take her off. Right away, you should call the chair and say, hey, from your committee, I'm gonna take these people. So when they call her, she's aware. It was like
Yeah.
something is
No, I
wrong
think it's a
there.
great topic for the committee chair meeting next Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
because I
all-
think it's not just affecting this committee, it's affecting the others.
Yeah, something is wrong.
Like if they are going to notify the liaison should send it, whatever the notification I get, send it to the
And to
secretary
you.
and to me. Copy
The-
the
the
3 of us
chair-
really need to know.
The
Yeah.
chair always
So we
has to
know.
be-
especially if there's gonna be a lot of them, then we have quorum or not,
Right.
Yes, Nancy.
Two things. Let's say I've been absent 2 times without a medical excuse. I think also to clear up some aggravation or problems or whatever, whether it be liaison, committee chair, that when somebody's on the ropes with 2 absences, maybe they don't even realize they were counted absent or whatever. Perhaps notify the member as well that, hey, you've got 2 absences and we've got so many more months that you've got to be careful, or just whatever way you want to word it, but just give them a heads up that they've got 2 absences, they're on the ropes. On their 3rd, they could be removed. That's number 1. And number 2, Claricel just said what I was going to say before, was I think this is a great topic for the committee chair meeting, because I'm sure other committees are having the same issue. So that's what I'd like to propose a motion that we do those 2 things if both things are approved by this committee.
All in favor?
I agree.
Thank you.
Claricel, I just have one question, and maybe I can bring it up in the other meeting too. But most of the people on our committee are professionals, have their own businesses, support us, sponsor us. And 3 meetings in a whole year, that's.
Really, because you got thrown
Yeah, I mean, is there any way to change that rule to give them a little bit more leeway on that?
Let's talk about it at the
The other
committee chair
meeting?
meeting.
I didn't know if it was a set and goal or with something we can change.
Yeah, I mean, the rules
think-
are really, it's, we get feedback, and I think the last revisions was through feedback from the committee chair meeting. So, you know, if something isn't working for the group, then yeah, it's something that we can definitely discuss and revise.
Yes.
Maybe we can do it 3 consecutive.
Or maybe one can be in
3
Zoom.
consecutive.
It's something the other,
No,
the
or-
chairs will all have to discuss on that, so that's something we
Then
don't
make it
have
a
any.
business as
It would
well
have to
as.
be
Or at
continued.
least on the phone, because let's pretend you're driving to court and you can't be here. You can go on the phone and listen to the meeting and participate. Maybe not all the meetings, but like a certain percentage or a certain amount of, maybe 10 have to be here and 1 can be on the phone. Because like I say,
That's hard.
she's going to court. And then the court, you can say, well, no, I can't be here, but I can listen to it and I can participate and we can keep track, because you're still doing the same thing. Well, not you, but you have to.
We'll have to bring that up with all the chairs in that
Yeah.
meeting.
What was yours, Nancy, yours was 2 parts? The first part is the warning, and then what was the
At
second?
warning it to. And I was just writing it. Remember when there got 2 absences and bring up at the committee meeting, and then is you warn us in some way at a meeting, phone call, whatever. Hey, you've
Well, we'll
got
see
2
what the
absences.
chairs discuss on.
And
that.
then have this at the committee meeting, as well as maybe another motion is necessary, but you've also, besides the medical excuse, you've also got your businesses, and those people could maybe get some kind of other thing. But I think both those things, the medical as well as the business people, getting some kind of dispensation for any issues. And let that be discussed at that meeting as to what they should be, but they shouldn't be so hard written in stone.
How many members in the committee?
Right now, I'm not sure.
There's
I'm-
supposed
I
to
was
be
gonna ask
20.
you
It's supposed to
something.
be 21. I don't know the same thing.
We don't have 21, I think we have about 17. Please, everybody, raise
One-
your
one
hand, raise your
girl.
hand. We might have had the floor.
I see 16 on the roster.
16 on the roster, okay. So if you know anybody that wants to be on the committee, please let me know. I'll be glad to call them and talk to them and get them appointed, okay?
I know someone that wants to be out.
Okay, my last comment is, in January, we will be voting for chair, secretary, vice chair. So all of you think about it. Anybody wants to become any of these positions, please let me know and we'll have it on the agenda. Old business. Our person. Please, raise your hand if you want to talk. Bingo, the night, we had to cancel due to rain. It was flooding that day, so we had to cancel it. The Thanksgiving lunch was a huge success.
It was great.
It was raining bad. I talked to Isle, I said, what are we gonna do? She called the company that was sponsoring it, because they were sponsoring the whole thing, and they said, well, they had all the lunches. So I said, I'm gonna go over and just see if we put the tables up and all, and if anybody comes, we'll just cancel it. Well, as soon as I got there, 2 ladies showed up. I don't know how they got there, and it was still raining.
You're right.
We ended up with 85 attending,
And it was great.
and we had, it was one of the best ones we've ever had. And then we delivered some to with the rest of them, because they had, I think they had 100, over 100 meals. So, the freebie could not deliver because they can't, and they don't run in the rain. So a few of us took some home and we delivered it to the, the ones that right there on, a couple of them right there on, that street
Yeah.
there, whatever, I don't even, I know how to get there. Just don't know the name. And we delivered all the meals, but it was a fun party.
Yes.
I mean, this we need rain more often. They were laughing and having a good time. I guess I knew if they stayed home, it wouldn't be as fun as coming for the party. But it was great.
It was the best.
Under the new business, we have bingo on the 9th and the 28th. That would be this Friday. Anybody who wants to come and help, we'll be glad to accept your help. Our Christmas party is December the 16th. Now, I'll let you know that the Christmas tree can be put up the night before, but it has to be taken down after the party. So my question to all of you is, do we want to put up the tree? All in favor of putting up the tree? Yes, we don't put up the tree.
Gonna take it down.
Well, you put it up the night before and you take it down after the party. So. We have a tree over at Roberta, I mean, Americana. It's just a matter of. The Christmas party starts at 12. 12 to 2, I think it is. I made up a calendar of events for 2023, starting from January to December. We had a hard time getting the community centers because we didn't have our calendar with COVID and everything. So I went through and I put some of the dates, bingo twice a month, and where we had normal activity for like the Valentine's, Easter party, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. We can add to it, but this would be the general calendar for what we will be having. And that way the town would be able to put us on the books. Sometimes we had a hard time getting that forward. So.
We have this in a motion.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Can somebody make that motion?
Somebody make a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. I'm sorry. So, if everybody thinks that this is just a draft I made up, so that we recognize, and you all can put on your calendars, that this is gonna be happening to help you out, to know that you're gonna have, that we're gonna have that. And I will be giving Isle a copy of this so that she can put it, I don't know who she gives it to put on the calendar. Was there anything else, anybody? Oh, there was one other thing that I brought to my attention.
Dottie, on this, is this all Roberto Alonso Community Center?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the only one we usually use.
Okay.
That's one where they've been putting it, so I thought at the top I had that, but. No, I
It's at the
didn't.
bottom.
At the bottom. At the bottom. Okay. The one problem,
Okay.
the one problem we've been having is
Yes.
the number of people at an event. This event here was 115, we were stopped at. And I've said that we voted to keep it at 115, but I didn't hear that in the minutes. So my question is, the parties usually have like 130. We usually run 130 or 130 over, maybe 135. The bingo usually runs 120 to 125. So my question would like to be is to set this at the number of people that can come is 130. Now, if we have a big party and we're getting more people, the chair has the right to move that figure up 5 or 10, whatever I hate to turn people away because this is, especially with the seniors, they like to get out. They want, and then when we have this, when Betty has to say, I'm sorry, it's full. I mean, we stopped at 115. She gave me a list of people that can't come to the Christmas party. And I just hate that, really. So what I'd like to do is say, we'll set both of them at 130. And if, I don't think the bingo will ever go up to that, but we'll have it set there. But like the party, if it goes under 130, Betty can call me and say, Dottie, we've got 5 more people. I would have the authority to say, all right, well, for this party, we'll make it 135.
Okay.
Now, all in favor?
Yeah.
Any opposed? Okay, so we're gonna put it at 135, and I'll give her these people, and I'll help her call them and let them know that they can.
Dottie made the motion and then the second.
Hey,
Is there anything else anybody would like to bring
yeah,
up?
I'd like to ask all the people, suppose if you would like to go, the 23rd. We have a Christmas lunch for our veterans and also elderly care committee is completely invited. They can go anybody that,
You need an RSVP.
well.
Well, you just show up with
Yes, show up with it.
Just show up.
Yes.
Yes, Nancy.
I'm asking him to repeat. That's on the 23rd.
23rd, between 12 to 3. Wait, hold on. Right there, I give you the.
Okay, thank you.
Claire, so, to make it easier on Stephanie or whoever, if she's not there next year for the secretary, could they have some kind of grid with all our names on it with each one, where all they'd have to do is the secretary just check them in? Yes, they were here, are absent, so that we have that positive record that it would be hard to dispute, I mean, we don't see anything until we go back to the minutes. But if the secretary had something like this,
Like a copy of the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it.
and they would have that so that they could just go down and mark absent of present, and then that would clarify it.
That would be helpful. Is there a way of creating an email for the secretary?
That-
What is that? What do you mean?
Like a designated email, like
CC.
Like it's an email that you guys would have, that way it's not mixed up with my stuff, and it's whoever the secretary is has access to this email.
For reporting
For-
absences.
I mean,
specific email just for the secretary for attendance purposes.
I'd have to speak to IT. I don't know how that would work.
I just can't create a Gmail, it would have to be.
Oh, you can create a Gmail,
And you can.
And
give
that
it
would
to
be your
whoever,
EAC
for next year.
designated email.
That way, because I get, sometimes I don't know until the day of when I'm here, they call me and say, I'm not gonna be able to come, this happened, or I'm sick or whatever. Like Lourdes, she just let me know yesterday, I said, I on yesterday that she's been sick and she just, I can't make it. Yes, Nancy.
As chairperson of the Public Safety Committee, when I type my agenda to go out to everybody, right at the top of it, I include every person's name that's on the committee. And then for the secretary, and even I do it, I just put a check mark by their name. And the way I already checked, the way your agenda is typed up. Okay, where it says see attached and your agenda, here it is. See how you've got plenty of room down here? You could leave this and add the names here or put it up at the top. And they don't have to be written real big, you can just list the names somehow. We all will then know who all the committee members are, because that's helpful to us as well. Right here, I have no idea who's on this committee. So if you want, at another time, I can. If you want, at another time, I can show you what mine looks like, or you can go to my website, or however it works. Whatever is easiest, just to show you how I put, and then the check marks are so much easier for me, and I'm the chair, I'm not even the secretary. But I keep my own record of who's who and who's not making the meetings, and it makes it easier for me later on when you've got that free and you're out to worry about.
The only thing is, then we'd have to go back to each meeting to make sure, having the grid, each month you have it right there and you know each month.
That's what I do each month on the agenda that goes out to my people. They see their names and whatever, and they've got the record of the check marks and everything of who's there. That's even easier for the secretary, so that when she's looking at that agenda at the meeting, she's not writing names of who's out, who's not. All she's got to do, I'm saying I'm sorry. All they have to do is put a check mark.
Well, that's what I've asked Claricel if she can do, have the secretary.
I'm just saying, when you do the agenda, they can be right at the top there. When you've got it right.
Do we have to vote on did we vote on that? About you changing the meals?
The capital one that is done.
Yeah, did we voted on it?
Yeah, I'll agree with you. We voted on it. Any other comments? My goodness, you did a good job. You want to
Make a motion to adjourn.
I said, yeah. Y'all have a wonderful day and thank you for coming.
You.